So one time I was on a school bus and one of my friends, she was wearing a scarf and somebody called her a terrorist. And we're the same religion, so that kind of hurt me as well, because I'm like, oh, that's not nice. Like, you're just picking on one person of the way they dress. So I identify as a Canadian South Asian, Muslim. So my friends would describe me as their child, because I'm usually the youngest in the group of my friends, and I'm really outgoing. Even if I'm living on really little sleep, I will still have that cheerful personality, which people think I'm crazy for. But it's just naturally me, though. So I do see a difference if you're born here and if you come from back home, like the way you speak, people will like treat you differently, or like just the way you phrase things or ask questions. Like sometimes if you say a sentence and you don't say it the way that would be spoken in the English language, some people may judge you really hard for that, and that is truly sad.
When you take that flight, ours is a developing country, right? So you take that flight to a developed country, you know that it's the biggest step of your life. My name is Abhishek and I'm from the northern part of India, basically Punjab, from a city called Amritsar, and I am 21 years old right now. I came to Sheridan on 25th December 2016. I remember it was a Christmas day and there wasn't much happening in the city, a lot of snow. But I mean, when I came here, I came to know that you were brown, that I'm brown. I mean, I didn't know I was brown until I came here. I thought I was white. I was white in India.
In Canada, it's like I have just 5 S in my life. Those were like study, sleep, struggle, stress, and Sheridan. These are the 5 S in my life.
A few minutes to think about that. In the meantime, there's one more thing I want you to do, and that is at the back of your little nameplates, I want you to write what your goal is in this
My
class.
only focus coming here was not studies. It was something else. I was here to get married to a person. It was my father's friend. But at the end of the day, that didn't happen. So I have to end up getting into the school. But still, I have contact with that family, and I don't feel good at all with them, talking to them.
So I really miss my parents because I am 18 years of my age. I have never lived without my mother. So when I just came to Canada, my first night was so difficult. I was just crying over why did I step out. When I was in India, whatever I do have problem, I just discuss with my mother and that's it. So she is like, you know, the magic stick. So just she moved that and everything gone. But now I'm in Canada, so whenever I told her about anything, I know I have to deal it alone.
People have told me that you have surprisingly good accent for an Indian person who has just come to the country like recently. I came to Canada on August 2016. Basically, I gave my parting salute to India on its Independence Day, and then I boarded the flight to Canada. I'm lucky enough that I speak multiple languages, so I can gel well with Punjabis, the mostly Hindi-speaking crowd, and also Tamil-speaking people, also Malayalam, that's a language in Kerala.
Pomegranate punch doesn't come in a snack. Passion. Without the whey protein is fine? Okay, you want a small one, right? Yeah. So I do live at home, and I thankfully work at campus because that's really convenient. So I work at the Booster Juice here. Working does help, but at the end of the day, I feel like a lot of us really do rely on government OSAP to help us pay with our fees.
So financial situation in Canada is really tough for an international student because you're paying 3 times the fees that a domestic student would pay every semester. Most students do work until late night every single day, and then sometimes they skip out in school. You know, that brings about their grades low, and then it's like a loop, infinite loop that goes on with most students.
Even the stress for the studies is so much that I have my own days that I haven't slept for like 2-3 days continuously. Going to school, then work, then again school. Didn't have any time to sleep.
I used to come to college 9 to 5, then go to factory 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. in the night, then come again to college. It used to be repeated every week, 5 days a week. And at the end of the week, I just used to sleep whole day long.
It's so difficult because, as I told you in my first case when I went there for my job interview, so they just don't hire me because I was from India, because they were feeling that you have a different accent, you will not able to cope with what our requirements are. So when we came from India to Canada, I met some of those who feel like Indians. They are very unhygienic. They have like stinky smell, so they just want to maintain a distance from Indians, especially Indians, because they feel like they are not human beings. I don't know why they get that, because we are also the same thing.
Being a visible minority does make it difficult at times to I don't know, just to feel like you belong here. Like I've been here my whole life. I'm born here, I'm raised here. But at the end of the day, if you are a different color, if you speak a different language, if you're anything that's not typically Canadian, I feel like a lot of people feel like they don't belong.
I went to some jersey store, and there were some white people there, and the salesperson was dealing with them. I was standing there for since 15-20 minutes. They saw me and they ignored me. I felt so bad, went back home, cried a lot. But I thought that this is the life. I have to go ahead and fulfill my mother's dream.
I've heard people talk to other people saying that Indian people, they smell funny, they talk weird.
When the person who is trying to express the emotions, who is trying to convey some message, they have a different accent. So instead of getting deep into that message, instead of understanding what the person is saying, they just keep on laughing. that laughter breaks a person. That
It's just accent. It has nothing to do with your knowledge of the subject, your vocabulary of the language. It's just how people talk. If you would introduce yourself, say, my name is Mahadevan, I'm looking for a place to stay, they might not be very interested. But say, if you chop down your name from Mahadevan to just say Devan, they don't really know. If you're brown, you're white, they don't really know.
I'm not working in the factory anymore. It's been a long while. I've learned a lot of things. Now I know which jobs to apply for and which jobs do I deserve. I've been, since first semester, I've been reaching out to the Dean of International Students here at my college. He knows me well. He knows me by my name. Right now I'm in the board of directors. I fought for elections and I'm in the Senate too. I speak up for students. And if you go and talk to the president of Sheridan, the vice president of Sheridan, student life advisors, international dean, I've talked to each of them about students. So that's how I do my part. I want to let people know that if international students are coming to they have chosen you to be the pathway of their success, then it's your responsibility too to help them in equally respectable way.
Now the things are getting better because I am into this now. I am not running from this. Being myself is the thing I collected here. The things were different than India, but still I managed and made my own path.
so in our rainy days, you know, okay, you have faced once in your life this kind of situation. So at that moment also you never give up. So never giving up, that kind of spirit helps us to deal with different kind of situations, because life is not always smooth. It's up and down.
I still introduce myself as Mahadevan. People know me as Mahadevan, but sometimes it's really hard for people to say the entire name Mahadevan. So sometimes they just call me Devan. But some people do take effort to call to say my full name, Mahadevan. Though they say it a bit weird, but it's alright.
So at the end of the day, your voice makes a difference no matter what. Like, you might not think it makes a difference and it might be just you saying one thing, but the amount of people it affects, that's what's important.